New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. And hello again, dear ones. Robert Brzezinski with you here on the New Thought Media Network. This is the good news, and that means it's Friday evening at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Thank you for being with us whenever, wherever, and however you might be a part of what we're doing here. Thank you for being a part of what we're doing here. And I got to tell you, our first story tonight is one that just warms my heart and makes me stand up and go, hoo, hoo, hoo. And some of you may know we get a lot of our stories from a site called positive.news. They're out of the UK, and they've been doing this since 1993. Well, they just published a piece that credits the Reuters Institute for recent research that they've done. And this, the Reuters report was dated June of 2022. So this really is new information and new news. They published a report that suggests 38% of people globally now are avoiding the news. In the UK, that figure was closer to 46%. Now, they're saying that a big part of this is that the news brings them down. And that's why we're here to bring the good news. That's why positive.news is doing what they're doing, to bring the good news and positive stories back into our reporting and into sharing those with the world. They say, we believe that a solution-focused approach needs more prominence in mainstream journalism, and that we ought to be giving just as an equal amount of time, and mainstream journalism should be giving equal amount of time to the good news stories that are happening in our world as well. So that's what we're about here tonight, and I just felt this was a perfect way to kick off our programming for this evening. Again, welcome to what we're doing here. All right. Hello, Wayne. Glad to know we make your day, and that I believe everybody here on New Thought Media Network is doing that. If you are watching and you'd like to join along in the conversation, please feel free to chat along. Or if you have a good news story you know of that you think we should be covering, well, you can send us an email, goodnews@ntmedia.org. Feel free to do either, and we will take your story into account and maybe even focus it on the air some night. All right. Here's our next one. I love these types of stories too. A wrong number text ends up creating a cascade of experiences. The couple on your left, David and Candace, were pregnant with their little baby girl there and about to have their baby girl when they set up their baby shower. And somehow the woman on the right, Angela White, her phone number ended up on the distribution list for the text. Now, they don't know each other and didn't know each other. And it just so happens that Angela White owns a blanket company, a small business that sells blankets. So she took advantage of the whole mismatch and realized that, hey, something here is important, and is now getting a whole bunch of publicity out of it because she sent them a blanket and sent the little newborn, whose name is Luna, one of her blankets. Obviously, and then the couple reached out to a local news station, and everybody got featured, and and now we're all learning about this story. And folks, that's what it is. We are a family, and all it takes is one simple little act of kindness. We never know where it's going to touch, and we never know how far a good act of kindness will continue to travel down the road. I can only imagine that this couple will do something to pay it forward as they feel fit. And I encourage you, there are no mistakes in the universe. There are synchronicities, and things happen. And I'm not saying that they happen to us or for a specific reason, but things happen. And when they do, we have the opportunity to turn that into a good news story ourselves. So I encourage you, please consider those synchronicities as a reminder to pay it forward when you can. Now, here's a story that really caught my attention. State park in Tennessee has created a really unique project. Now, a lot of money went into this, and a lot of different departments, state parks of Tennessee, the Tennessee Department of Transportation, other local leaders and other organizations recycled just a vast amount of tires. Now, these tires, they estimate close to 25,000 tires had been dumped in and around this park for years and years and years. So these groups, they all got together. They start cleaning up all the tires, and then they start to crumble all the tires. Now, it's not everywhere in the world has a rubber crumbling machine. They were able to get a plant, and there's a Patriot Tire Recycling actually is in the area. They stepped up and together created 2.5 miles of trails in and around this now cleaned up park that was littered with tires, and tons of them. At one point, over 450 volunteers had registered and been a part of this effort. It's been going on since 2019. In one day, they were actually able to collect 10,000 tires for this project. And what people don't realize sometimes is the amount of money that a state Department of Transportation spends picking up litter. So they took all this money and incorporated an educational program to help cut back on the amount of litter. So the DOT in Tennessee there is saving money on how much they're spending to pick up litter. Pretty cool. There are similar efforts happening in Kentucky and Alabama. And there is also a recycled rubber walking trail that was built back in 2014 in Los Angeles. What a great idea. There's a good video here. We'll make sure that you can get links to this. This is on the goodnewsnetwork.org, one of our other favorite places to find good news stories. There's a good video there. I think this is a great idea, folks. We could all be doing this. Every state could be doing this because there's probably a recycling center close enough to most states to start pioneer some of these. Call your representative. Call your local folks. Look around. There's something we can do with all this old excess rubber tire laying around. All right, another great story that I found in the conservation area, this one happening in New York and New Jersey. Now, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has opened a public input comment period. They are looking to designate Hudson Canyon as a wildlife sanctuary. Now, Hudson Canyon is the largest underwater canyon along the U.S. Atlantic coast. It's about 100 miles out from New York and New Jersey, about 2.5 miles deep and up to 7.5 miles wide. It provides habitat for a range of protected and sensitive species, including sperm whales, sea turtles, and deep sea corals. Sounds like a great thing for us to be saving. A sanctuary near one of the most densely populated areas of the Northeast U.S. would connect diverse communities across the region to the ocean and the canyon in new and different ways. That's from NOAA Administrator Rick Spinrad. This is, I think, a great idea. And we want to remember, folks, we're all living in this thing called oneness. We're all in this thing called together. And if we act like that, well, then we're going to be able to sustain this planet. But it's when we start acting like we're all separate and this is mine and that's yours, that's when it doesn't work. So we're going to take a quick break, folks. Let me grab a quick sip of water and take a quick commercial break. Let a couple of our sisters tell you what they're doing in the world. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away. More good news stories coming right after this. We'll be right back. And we're back with more of the good news here on the New Thought Media Network Friday evening. Reverend Robert with you. So grateful that you are here with me. All right, let's hear it for Hawaii. Hawaii is doing something really cool, specifically Oahu. They're on a path to free themselves from a major coal-fired plant by introducing 158 Tesla energy megapacks. And the overall project is going to have a capacity of 565 megawatt hours. The current coal plant that they're looking to get rid of is only 180 megawatt capacity. This is Oahu, and Hawaii as a whole are looking to accelerate a transition to 100% renewable energy and step forward in creating, well, what is right now one of the largest lithium-ion batteries in the world. 158 lithium-ion megapacks from Tesla Energy, which is the car maker's green energy subsidiary. The project is only on 8 acres is all that it takes. And it has what's known as black start capacity, which is the ability for a battery of this size to jump start the entire grid. So in the case of a catastrophic incident or a massive interruption of the power grid, this station alone will be able to get everything running again. It works as a jump start, this is just power, no pun intended, of course. All puns are intended. The project is expected to go live in March of 2023, so we're really close. And they're saying that it could... the taxpayers will see their investment returned before the 20-year contract period is up on this project. Win-win-win for everybody around. Thank you, Hawaii, setting the pace and stepping up. Hey, we generally do a series of good news and it's technology and science-based articles during the middle segment of this program, and today's no different. This one is, however, really different. Scientists, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names. I would do poorly because they're from the Technology University in Singapore. They have announced that they've created a membrane made from a waste byproduct of vegetable oil in manufacturing. Now, what this membrane can do, and this is heavy, heavy science, the membrane can actually filter out heavy metals from contaminated water. Thank you for our great producer, Diego, is sharing the schematic images that are available in this article. And I went over all of this today. It all does make sense. But it's really a lot of science, and what they're doing is it's all on the molecular level. What they do is they create an oilseed mead from either sunflower or peanut oils. Then they extract the proteins from those oil seeds, and they use those proteins to create fibers, or actually fibrils, because they're not thick enough to be actual fibers. These fibrils are drawn to the heavy metals, and so they act as the attraction factor, as the magnet. Then they're taking all these fibrils and creating this film that you can filter the water with, and all the heavy metals attached to the fiber, to the film. Excuse me, to the fibrils film. See, I told you it was heavy metal stuff. It's heavy understanding here. And now here's the other. So this is cleaning water and bringing it back to international drinking standards. And the technology will also allow them to filter out microscopic particles of gold, platinum, and other heavy precious metals, so they can actually pay themselves back for the work that's happening. Another system whereby implementing it makes everybody richer and everybody healthier. I love this kind of stuff. Good news in the world of in the world of medicine. And this next story is no different. This one's even more amazing. Researchers at Northwestern University have created a biocompatible, water-soluble device that wraps itself around your nerves and blocks the pain signals to your brain. Now, they're saying this may replace drugs and opioids and other drugs and other pain medications. All of those other pain medications, especially opioids, have a highly addictive nature and are causing social ills of their own. This is so small and so thin, it could be implanted during surgery, and it kind of wraps itself around your nerve. They say it's only a couple of different nerves that we're even targeting. And what it does is it uses evaporative cooling to cool down the nerve, to ice down the nerve without making it so cold that you damage the nerve. What interesting and wild technology. What they're using is an inert gas inside that fiber, that squiggly looking piece of plastic you've got there that Diego is showing us. One channel in that contains a liquid coolant. That coolant is already clinically approved as an ultrasound contrast agent for pressurized inhalers. So, and the other is dry nitrogen. And when the two of those are close enough, they create the cooling effect, and they can control how much cold is put through this thing. So how cold it'll make your nerves, so that we're not damaging the nerves by too much cold. Could it get any better? Yeah, it can. When this has done, once the system has run its course, it dissolves in your bloodstream. No need to go back in and remove this. It's not an implantable device. We don't have to have a second surgery to go in and get this back out. It just disappears. Cool stuff. The study was published this week in the journal Science. There's links in the article that'll get you there. Good stuff, good science, and pain relief all in one. Here's another interesting one that I thought was really cool. Scientists are now zapping the spinal cord of test monkeys. Now, I'm not a fan at all of using monkeys as test subjects, and this is not cosmetics. This is real good hard science. They're rather than trying to stimulate muscles to alleviate paralysis in these monkeys, they're zapping the spinal cord. They're sending small signals of with electrodes and seeing results and getting so instead of stimulating the muscles, they're going right to the spinal cord and seeing results in these primates. They're saying this is promising technology that could lead to supporting humans that have been paralyzed in regaining some amount of movement and perhaps even full movement. A lot more research is needed. The study is described in the journal Nature Neuroscience if you're interested in that. And again, we'll make sure we leave links in the show notes for you. All right, folks, we're going to take another quick break, say hello to a couple more of our sponsors and some of the people that make this network happen, including yourselves, because we really do like to say thank you to all of our community givers and sponsors. Please help us do that first. We'll be back in just another moment with more of the good news before the night's up.
Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And please help us welcome Om Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Hefferlin Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Ajit, thank you for your very generous donation. And a super special thank you to Dr. Tracy Brown, RSCP. Thanks for being a super donor. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.
And we're back with more good news here on the New Thought Media Network Friday evening. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for staying with us tonight. You know, often in our final segment, we do the stories of the good people and the good news stories around the people and sometimes the animal kingdom as well. Tonight, we're focusing on the good people, and we want to first introduce you to James Anderson. James is considered by many to be the best plumber, or a modern day hero, as Britain's kindest plumber. He has developed a nonprofit organization over there. They're recognized. They're called Social Impact, Community Interest Company. Also what we would consider a nonprofit here in the United States. The company is DEPHER, DEPHER, and that stands for Disabled and Elderly Plumbing and Heating Emergency Repairs. See, what happened is James started to get calls from people that were retired and elderly folk, and they're getting outrageous bids for small jobs. They're getting told they can't get things done. And James started to see this again and again and again. and realized something needed to be done. So he started the nonprofit and said, let's go out and help these folks. He does everything from giving away boilers and putting in new heating systems and air conditioning systems, whatever it is that the people might need, that he's getting caught up with, getting connected with. Good work here, James. Thank you for being you. Thank you for doing what you're doing and bringing a good smile to the people in your community. That's the kind of stuff we like, folks. Working together, helping each other, and staying in touch with what's going on out there. My next story is a little different. Now, you may have recently seen on Netflix over the past year a story called Concrete Cowboys. While that is a fictionalized program, it does in many ways represent the Fletcher Street Urban Riding Club. Not all the stories are in there. And the founder of the Fletcher Street Urban Riding Club, Ellis L. Dog Farrell, is quoted as saying that many of those stories are not his life and are not what he has done. However, this story came across the desk again this week, and it gave me a great reminder of what is happening there. So we'll leave links to the Fletcher Street Urban Riding Club as well. Go check them out. What it really is Black cowboys in Philadelphia, in the streets of Philadelphia. And this is not something new. This is something that's been going on for a very, very long time. Pre-Civil War era, there were Black cowboys in Philadelphia and doing the work of taking care of their neighbors, taking care of the people around them. You can donate to their cause. You can get involved to their cause. Their website is fsurc.com. We'll make sure to leave that link where you can find it too. Fletcher Street Urban Riding Club and Old Dog Ellis there. Thank you, folks. L-Dog, Ellis Farrell Jr. or L-Dog, doing the good work, being the good human, and going the extra mile to make sure things are happening the way they should. Thank you, L-Dog, for all you are doing. All right, our final story tonight is another one of these that is just like, oh my gosh. A young German boy named Joe went missing in June 17th to be precise, and nobody knew where he went. They're looking 8 days later. 8 days this young man survived. They believe that somehow he climbed through a street grate, a runoff grate in the street, and ended up getting lost in the sewers. When they found him, he was completely undressed, hypothermic, had luckily suffered no major injuries. His father was quoted as saying he was doing well given the circumstances. Again, not exactly sure how he got in there, but the police have ruled out that there's any negligence or ill will or ill intent here. The young boy got lost, and, well, we're grateful and happy that he was heard. Somebody heard sounds. Somebody heard him shouting and made the report. You know, that's important too, folks. I'm going to say it again and again and again. We're all in this together. If you see something weird, something strange, say something. Let folks know. Be a part of your community. Be aware of what's going on around you and how you might be able to just find that perfect way to step up, serve, or support, and perhaps become the good news yourself. I'm Robert Brzezinski. I'm going to get out of here for now. I thank you for being with us. We're so grateful you're here. Please do stay in tune with what we're doing. The Pastor Michael Mangus is coming up at the top of the hour with the fireside chat. We've got our evening prayers tonight and, of course, morning prayers tomorrow, Saturday, and so much more. There's Pastor Michael. All right, I'm Rev Robert. I'm going to get out of here for now. I love you. And until we meet again, I wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.